Hey everybody, in today's video, I want to talk to you about different jobs that you can do as a notary. Special surprise for those that stick to the end. So number one is to be a mobile notary. What is a mobile notary? Well, a mobile notary travels to clients' homes, their office, to a coffee shop, restaurant, hospital, assisted living facility. And a mobile notary's job is quite fun because you get to meet so many nice people and the people are always happy to see you. Number two, what could you do? Well, what we call general notary work. And that is going to be just a whole bunch of different things. You don't specialize in anything, but you're able to notarize anything at all. And we call that GNW, general notary work. Let's take a look at some of the jobs or some of the documents rather that you might see as a general notary. Number one is you might do plenty of power of attorneys. Power of attorney is you can have medical power of attorney, general power of attorney, real estate power of attorney. There's just so many different power of attorneys. You can do single one-page real estate related documents like a warranty deed, a quitclaim deed. They might need a T-47. So there's all sorts of documents. You might do permission to travel, traffic tickets so that they can go to driving school. You might notarize copies of records for adoptions. There are a lot of young people these days going ahead and getting their trusts and their wills signed ahead of time. And one of the things you can do is work with attorneys that specialize in this type of work. And how much can you charge for an estate package? Well, that really depends upon the number of documents, the attorney that you're working with. But I would say in Texas, at a minimum would be a minimum of $125 and can go upwards beyond that, because if you have two packages, one for the husband, one for the wife, and then a package that comes together, that can add up. Sometimes you can have anywhere from 6 notarizations to 38 notarizations. I've had 50 notarizations in a package. So you have to take that all into account, but that is a field that you could literally specialize in and make plenty of money as a trust and will notary. So you'll basically notarize the same documents over and over, especially if you're working for an attorney. You'll have power of attorneys, medical directives, pour over will, certification of trust, many documents that go into the whole package. You may be wondering if you have to get special certification. No, there is no certification requirements whatsoever. However, you do want to be knowledgeable on the subject, so you can watch YouTube videos, you can research it. There are some courses out there that you can take, and I've taken them, not necessarily that I needed to, but just in case there's some little piece that I'm missing. And so I would say, even though you may not want to take extra courses, it might be a good idea. There are just so many schools of thoughts on whether or not you should take courses. The one that's out there right now is Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent. Bill Soroka and Laura Buer teach that class. It is helpful. Again, it's not necessary, but if you really want to specialize in the trust and wills department and you want to get a jump start, I would suggest taking the course, even though there is not any real quote certification necessary. If you want to be an expert and you want to jump start, take the course. Number 4, you could be a wedding officiant. Now in Texas, you cannot be a wedding officiant. I know in Florida you can, and that would be a very fun job to have as a notary. Now, somebody that I know that is really successful at this is Celicia in Florida, and she has Rainbow Notary. So you can check her out at her website, and I'll post a link to that right here. Celicia has Rainbow Notary and Nuptials in Florida. I will attach a link to her website below so that you can get some ideas if you want to start your own wedding officiant service. Number 5 is fingerprinting. You can open up a fingerprinting business. I would suggest checking out Acme Notary, and I will put a link to his website Jeff does a wonderful business in fingerprinting. And in fact, I think he also has a fingerprinting course that you can take. Check with your state, see if there is already a lot of competition. I believe Jeff has a thriving fingerprinting business, and he talks about it on the web and on the YouTube. So check it out. Number 6, field inspections. You can be a field inspector. This could be fun for you to do as well. Now, the way you would get business doing this is to sign up for the different companies that offer field inspection services. Field inspections could include inspecting offices, commercial space. You could also do, quote, I guess you could kind of call it field inspections, doing inspections for car dealerships, going and checking out the cars. You might work for a bank in their foreclosure division, going and taking pictures of houses that might be going into foreclosure. Now, I'm going to put a link to one of the websites. It's called National Field Representatives. If you're interested in becoming a field inspector, go to their website. I'm going to put a link right here and sign up. Okay, so number 7, you could actually be a courier and courier documents throughout the city. These are all things that you could put on your website and offer them as different services, so that way you're not just waiting for notary business from one single aspect, but you have a whole complete business. Number 8, you could be a process server. Now, y'all, this is not something that I would want to do. No, thank you. But process serving, they do look for notaries to do their process servings, and that would involve giving someone a notice that they are being served. I personally think that might be kind of scary for me, and especially depending upon the areas and neighborhoods that you would need to go in. So I want to tell y'all a funny story about me trying to do field inspection. So the very first field inspection that I did, oh my gosh, let me just tell you what happens. I signed up with this field inspection company, and they sent me a job, and they said I needed to go out to the location, take pictures on the front, the side, and take a picture of the actual number on the house, take a picture of the signs, the street signs that were down the street, take pictures of one going down the side of the street one way and then going the other way. Okay, so y'all, I pulled up to this house, and it was in a little bitty neighborhood, little bitty houses, and it looked like, a lot of the houses were not, it was not in a good neighborhood, let me just say that. So I pull up and I think to myself, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? This house was a duplex, so there was a guy on one side, and the numbers were not apparent on the outside because you had to go on the side of the house to actually read the number. So this guy is standing out there, and he's looking at me like, oh God, what's this lady doing in this neighborhood? So I pull up. I've got my suit on. I've got nice, pretty shoes on. And I'm thinking I'm just going to take pictures. And then, so I walk up to this guy that's in the second duplex, and I didn't know which one it was. So I asked him, are you A or B? And he said, oh no, that's over there. And I said, okay, I'm just here to take some pictures. Y'all, this is terrible. His yard did not have any grass at all. It was all like sand and mud, and it was horrible. There was no walkway for me to walk up to the side of his house and take a picture of the front door. And at that point, I was already committed to doing this. And I thought, okay, this looks a little bit solid. I'll just, walk on this. No. The minute I stepped in it, my beautiful gold shoes sunk into the sand. Oh, y'all, I was so upset. And they were new, too. So anyway, I went ahead and I walked all the way up and thinking, oh, my gosh, I hope these people don't shoot me. They don't even know who I am. Here I am walking up, to the side here. And so I took a picture and I walked back to my car. I was not happy. I was not a happy camper. So I had to wipe off my shoes with what I had in my car. And that was not a good experience, y'all. And how many of y'all want to guess whether or not I have done another field inspection since then? No, I have not. But that's just a little story. And to top it off, this company was paying almost next to nothing. It was like a 45-minute drive And so that was a very, very, very good learning experience for me that I did not want to do field inspections. However, you might have better luck. I'm going to put a link to a couple of field inspection companies here as well if you want to check them out. Number nine is you can work as an apostille agent. An apostille agent works with law firms, works with corporations, works with individuals, people that need their documents sent to another country. They might be getting married. They might have a job there that requires these documents to be apostilled and sent to another country. Now, as an apostille agent, there is no special training required. Anybody can do it. But if you want to be a good apostille agent, I would recommend checking out some videos, checking out some training. There are some good training courses out there. And I mean, it's not anything that you can't learn on your own. However, as I said previously, if you want to jumpstart, if you're really, really serious about being a notary and offering these other services and you want to get a head start, then take those courses. Now, I do understand that in many cases, it's just not feasible because, you're spending $300 here, $200 here, $100 here, printer here. It gets to be expensive and a lot of notaries that are just getting into this, they don't have a whole lot of money to spend on all this stuff. So keep the apostille idea in the back of your pocket so that as you get going and as you're making money with these other services, that you will want to maybe circle back and be an apostille agent or courier. Now, to be an apostille agent or courier, I would recommend that you be in the city that of your Secretary of State. For instance, I am in Austin. I do Texas apostilles, and I believe Florida is Tallahassee. So you want to check out where your Secretary of State is, because as an apostille agent, if you want to provide same-day services, you need to be able to get over there quickly and get that done. Now, I would like to say that if you do become an apostille agent and you need something apostilled in the state of Texas, think of me, and I will be happy to apostille your documents here in Texas. You can go to my website at texasnotarylive.com and fill out that form or just call me directly. But I do apostilles here. I have a team of people that help me with the apostilles. So if you have apostilles that you need done in Texas, I'm your partner and I would love to help you with that. For instance, if you're in Houston, you certainly aren't going to want to drive 2.5 hours to Austin. If you're in Dallas, you're not going to want to drive all the way. So let me work with you and help you with those apostilles in Texas. So I highly recommend that you check out adding apostille to your notary services. Now, number 10, and I'm going to go a little bit beyond 10, but number 10 is you can do notary depositions. I've been contacted by a company, and I'll put a link to their website address to do notary depositions. You can swear parties in that are getting ready to do the depositions. You can actually sit there during the whole deposition as well with the party. You can do online remote depositions as well. Now, you can sign up with a company or you can do this on your own. And I'm going to put a link to a company that requested that I help them with notary depositions, and you can check that out and see if they need some help. Also, there's some YouTube videos out there on how to do court depositions as well. You can swear in the clients before they do the depositions. You can also swear them in before court and before trial. Now, to find out more, you can go to scribe.ai, and I'm going to put a link to their website over here. A while back when they contacted me, they were offering free training, and so check that out. Number 11, and I know a lot of notaries that are doing this, they are becoming signing agent services. So you could add that to your repertoire. Now, there are no state regulations. You don't even have to be a notary to start as a signing service. So I would caution you as well, if you are a notary and you are taking businesses from signing companies, that you check them out and make sure that they're reputable. There are plenty of Facebook groups out there. There's one called Deadbeat Notaries that talks about all of the signing companies that do not pay. But if you get out there and you're a notary and you get good experience and you want to provide services, notary signing services, and be a signing company for notaries and do a good job, you can operate that way as well. Again, there are some training companies that offer training. There are some companies out there that offer training, like Loan Signing System. Mark Wills, he has a course on starting your own signing service, and then Ronnie Mickle, I believe, with Notary Stars, has a course on starting your own signing service as well. You can also get more information at signingorder.com and sign up on their platform to be a signing service. And I believe that they do take quite a bit, or they do take a portion of each of your signings, or maybe it's per signing. They do take a portion to use their platform to keep track of everything. So check them out on their website at signingorder.com. Number 12. What could this be? Are there more opportunities to offer other services as a notary? Yes, there are so many opportunities as a notary. You could become a document preparer. However, you have to check with your state. For instance, Texas, you are not allowed to prepare documents as just a notary. Now, if you're a paralegal working in a law firm, you can do that. In Florida, you can act as a document preparer. You do have to take certain courses, and I would say check with your state on the requirements. Now, there is a company in Florida that is doing the document preparing, and they also teach a class. It's called Noble Notary and Legal Document Preparers, and I will put a link to their website over here. I do not endorse any of these different companies, but I know that they do have a training course on that. Again, check and see if your state allows you to do that and does not consider that unauthorized practice of law, or UPL. So here is their website right here, legaldocprepnotary.com. Go over there and check that out. Number 13, you could be a notary permit runner. If you're in an area where there is a lot of construction going on, these permits need to be notarized all the time. And you could work with certain companies, construction sites. And I'm going to put a link to Cynthia Alexander's website. She offers courses on becoming a permit runner. And again, I'm not receiving any spiff or kickback on any of these. And again, do your own research, because I have not checked this out thoroughly. But I do know that she as well does offer service on being a permit runner. I'm going to squeeze this one in because I think I really forgot to mention this one, but you can become a, quote, signing agent. And if you are interested in finding out more about that, the National Notary Association offers the courses, and that is where you do need to get a specific certificate from the NNA. And because signing companies, title companies do want to see that you have had that background check. So I personally do not care so much about, quote, being a signing agent. I do offer signing agent services in my business. I do real estate related documents all the time, but I really don't work with signing companies because I am direct. I work with all of my clients myself. So that's not one of the ones that I highly recommend that you start out with, because I think that is where the struggle is real. In my personal opinion, that is the most difficult path to take, is to start out as a signing agent. And unfortunately, that's what's really pushed on the internet. They go out there and say you're going to make $100,000, in your first month, your first year, or whatever, and that really is not realistic. So I think a lot of people, they sign up as a notary and they get discouraged. They're like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And then you've got signing companies that only want to pay you $40, or you've got signing companies that only want to pay you $40 or $60 for a 200-page packet that's an hour away. Then you've got to print all that, then you've got to scan it. So I do not recommend, if you are a brand new notary, that you select that option when you become a brand new notary. I would not recommend being a signing agent right off the bat because first of all, you need to know how to notarize documents. I do believe that there are notaries out there that are, quote, signing agents, and they don't really know the basics of being a notary, what an acknowledgement is, what a jurat is. Are you supposed to swear somebody in? So learn the basics first and become a general notary first. Okay, y'all. If you have stuck to the end, I've got a special surprise for you. And my most favorite thing of all is being an online notary, or they call it remote online notary. We call it RON, R-O-N, remote online notary. This is my favorite, and this is where I make most of my money as a notary. I've been an online notary since, I started in November of 2020 as an online notary for Texas, and I get requests all across the world, and I am busy every single day. I work with a lot of law firms, corporations, and this is the number one that I absolutely love. So you might be asking, what does it require to become a remote online notary? Again, there are courses out there that you can take. I don't recommend taking any of the courses because so far the courses that I've seen out there really just have a generalization of what is an online notary. I mean, that is so simple. You can just watch some of my YouTube videos and you can see what an online notary does. But if you want more in-depth training or whatever, I'm going to put a link to my Connect, and I offer sessions where if you want to just ask me questions, I will answer your questions on Connect.com, and I will put a link to that here, and I'm happy to answer personalized questions any personalized questions that you might have about becoming a remote online notary. I know many notaries that do this full time, and that's all they do is the online notary. There's great opportunity for it. And if you start now, it's going to take a while to build up your clientele, but it's better to start now so 2 years from now you have built up your clientele. I do not think it's a get rich quick. I do not think you're going to get immediate results unless you have contacts, you have people that you've worked with in the past. For me personally, I was a paralegal for many years, and so I kept contacts with a lot of the attorneys that I worked with, and so that has helped me tremendously. You can think about your contacts and who do you know if you worked in the medical field, maybe they need online notarizations. You want to think of your unfair advantage. What unfair advantage do you have to get these online notary clients? Maybe you have some experience as a real estate agent or a real estate broker. I just happen to also be a real estate broker, so I do have all of my contacts from being a real estate broker for over 20 years. So I'm sure maybe you were a teacher. Teachers do need online notarizations for their students. So think about all of the different ways that you could attract people to do online notarizations. And it's becoming more and more and more the norm. So how do you get your online notary commission? Every state is different, but usually you get your regular commission first as a notary, and then you can go online to your Secretary of State and get set up as an online notary. There are a few more charges because you need to get certificates and seals, but that's for another time, and I'll put a link to another video over here. What's really exciting about doing online notarization too is that at the end of the session, the client is able to get their document immediately, print it out, and use it. Now, I always recommend to my clients that they check with their receiving party as to whether or not they will accept an online notarization. But usually by the time they've contacted me, and these are repeat clients, they know whether or not they can use it, and that's why we stay busy every day. Now, I do have another video over here where I detailed if you worked for a company, say a builder company or a title company, and they have a regular flow of business and are closing on homes, you could work directly with them. You could work seasonally. You could work at the end of the month when they need it the most. But I'm going to put a link to that video right here and check that out because that's another great opportunity to make money. Now, as a special bonus, I know a lot of times people want to get to the nitty-gritty and say, well, gosh, how much money can I make as an online notary? Well, just as an example, I worked with some of my favorite attorneys the other day, and all of the clients were all overseas and in different locations. We had 5 different people at the same time. I made over $1,000 setting this all up, getting all 5 of these parties on here, important corporate documents that needed to be notarized online, and then also apostille. So it can be quite lucrative. I do highly recommend that if you want to work remotely and you want to, have the freedom to work for yourself, to learn the online notary process. And yes, it can be scary at first. And there, as I said, there's no real special quote courses. I've looked at them all, and they're all just basic general that you could literally get from an online platform like, say, Notarize. Notarize offers free training, and they go over exactly how to use their platform. So there is no secret magic bullet to becoming an online notary. However, I am thinking about in the future doing an online session on Zoom with those of you that are interested in doing something like that. But right now I'm not charging anything for courses, but for the future, I think I may have to come up with something, because the ones that are out there right now, a lot of the courses are even taught by people that don't do online notarizations. I think you need to be taught by someone that is in the game, someone that's doing it every single day, like myself. I am doing online notarizations every single day, and I have made a business out of it. So you can Minnect me, MINNECT. Go to Minnect.com and look up my name, Margie Kaplan. You can request, you can ask me any questions. I'll answer that for you. And I hope that you will take this opportunity seriously. And again, of all of these, I highly recommend that you become an online notary. And even though you may not be getting business all of a sudden, you will. And look, we can all work as a network as well. Sometimes I have clients that have to have a Florida online notarization because they might need biometrics. In Texas, we don't offer biometrics. Therefore, I have a few notaries in Florida that I refer business to regularly. I just absolutely love being an online notary, and I hope that I can help and interest you in doing the same thing, and perhaps we can all work together and give each other leads and encouragement. And let me know if you're interested in perhaps me doing a live session with a select few of you. Maybe we could do 5 or 10 people, and do a free Zoom where I can answer your questions. If you have an interest in that, put a comment below, and if I get enough interest, I will reach out to you, contact you. You can be a part of this exclusive group of 10 notaries that can get on with me and ask any questions that you have, kind of like a mini online session on how to become a RON. What are the challenges, just the questions that you might have. And let me know. I'd be happy to help you. So if you have an interest in becoming an online notary, just let me know. Being an online notary has so many rewards. You meet the client online, similar to a Zoom session. It's audio and video recorded, and the signer signs, the notary signs, the notary stamps, and guess what? At the end of the session, you have your notary documents. And then if your state allows it, that can also be apostilled. So what are you waiting for? So I hope this information has been helpful to you, and if it has, I really would appreciate if you could like or subscribe for more informative videos on the different jobs that you can have as a notary. And if you have any comments, any questions, any information that you would like answered, please Minnect me, and I'll put a link to Minnect.com below. So until next time,